Hi, my name is Paul Sargent. Welcome once again to AP Euro Bit by Bit, the series in which I'm trying to teach you modern European history in small bite-sized pieces so that you can better understand it. Yes, it's exam week. I can't believe it. We are almost here. And I'm going to take today and look at one of the two remaining pieces of the exam and give you some tips on how to prepare for it and how to go about attacking it. So today, we take a look at what do you do with the DBQ. Let's get started. All right, so on test day, when you guys get to the DBQ, you're going to come back from having had a break. You'll already have taken care of 60% of the exam in terms of the way that it's being scored. So all that's left is 40% for the writing period. Now what they're going to give you is they're going to give you a suggested 15-minute reading period. They're going to give you all of the questions, the DBQ with its documents, and the LEQ, the long essay question prompts, and then you're going to have time to sort of read through them. Unlike past years, you do not have to take the entire 15 minutes. When you're ready to write, you don't have to sit around and wait for the proctor to tell you that, okay, now the reading period's over and you can write. You now have the time to write. And where you should start writing is the DBQ. Now, the DBQ is, in its simplest form, a well-written historical essay. It starts off with sort of stating the problem. It addresses the prompt with a nice thesis. You back it up with good supporting evidence, and then you take that thesis, restating it in some way, and then applying it or comparing it to a larger understanding of history. And that, in the basic, is pretty much what you do. Now, it's graded on a 7-point rubric, and these points are simply like a checklist. Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do the other? If you do them all, if you write a good historical essay, you're going to hit on all 7, but it's important to understand what those 7 points are. But first, let's talk about what you should do when you get the prompt and the documents. Now, the 15-minute reading period is set there to kind of force you to go through the documents one by one, and that would absolutely be the way that I would attack this. Look at the prompt first and understand what it's asking. And before you read a single document, jot down 3, 4, or 5 things that you know about this topic, okay? Not necessarily about the time period, not necessarily about, but like what is this topic exactly? Then go through the documents one by one. For each of the documents, what I tell my students to do is to highlight or underline important passages, and then off to the right-hand side of the document, write, this is what the main idea of the document is. Also, be sure to look at the source of the document. Understand that source affects the way that we look at documents. So, who wrote it, what the purpose of the document was, who the audience was, and what the context in which the document was written in are all important. Choose one of those and jot down a little something next to the source about this is such and such, and it could mean this. And then move on. You're going to want to move through these documents fairly quickly, all right, and understand sort of what the main idea is. Now that you've gone through all the documents, then what you need to do is try and group them together. Ideally, you're going to have 3 supporting paragraphs which address the prompt, okay? And the documents that you choose should fit in as those. That's your evidence to support the 3 things that you want to say about the prompt. So group them that way. Understand, you want to use all of the documents. Okay, you want to use every single one. You want to reference it in the essay. And documents can be used in more than one paragraph. Then also take those pieces of information you wrote down when you first read the prompt and ask yourself, where will they fit into these 3 body paragraphs? Then start writing. The first thing you want to do is you want to start off by doing contextualization. Set the stage. Every movie begins, well, that's not true. Many movies begin, especially history movies, begin with sort of like some opening statements about what's going on in the world this time, and that's what your contextualization should be. Open it up. Your second point is for your thesis, and your thesis should address the prompt without restating it, and it should set up what you're going to be arguing. There are a lot of ways to write the thesis. There's no real one good way to do it. The formulaic way to do it is to make a statement and then say these 3 ways, and those are your 3 body paragraphs. You get a second point if that thesis is being backed up throughout the essay. So if you get 1 for contextualization, 1 for the thesis, and 1 for keeping the thesis going throughout the essay, gosh, you're 3 out of 7. Now you write your body paragraphs. And in your body paragraph, start with a good topic sentence and then use the documents that are there, making sure not only to explain what the main point of the document is and how that relates to what you're trying to prove, but also then throw in for documents, and you'll only have to do it for 4. I would say do it for 5 or maybe even 6, just in case you get one wrong. Put in like how the author's point of view, the context, the audience, or the purpose of the document can change its meaning. And put in how those things can change the actual meaning of the document. And then you have your body paragraphs, right? And you've added in that specific information that you came up with originally. That's a point for using the documents, a point for analyzing them, and a point for using outside information. And now we're at what? 6 of the 7. Get to your final paragraph. Now, you might be crunched for time, but don't worry about it. Write a final paragraph, because what you want to do is you want to restate your thesis. Here's what I was trying to prove, and here's how I've proved it beyond any shadow of a doubt. And then you want to synthesize. And everyone worries about the synthesis point. I'm going to make it simple. This is how I see it. Relate the topic to anything else out there. Different time period, a different place in the world. This is also going on in such and such. Or, sort of move it into a larger understanding. But just make a statement to finish it up and kind of say, like, this is not just an isolated incident. Like, this is going on elsewhere. And that's your 7th point. So those are all 7 points, and that's how you write a good essay. Now, in my opinion, this, while it's worth 25% of your overall score, is the easiest part of the exam. If you can do the documents and be able to write from them, you can write a 6 out of 7 point essay without knowing anything about the topic. Because that 7th point is bringing in outside information. So pretend you don't know anything about the topic whatsoever. Use the documents, let them guide you, write a good essay, and you can get a 6 out of 7. So don't stress over this one. Take your time, write it well, and do the best you can. Having said that, that is my quick overview of the document-based question. 25% of the exam and the first part of your second half of the AP exam. Now, for a more in-depth discussion of the DBQ and what it means, I'd like to refer you to Tom Ritchie's videos on the document-based questions. He has 3 or 4 of them, I believe, and they go into more detail than this. But this was just meant as a quick overview so you understand what's going on. So as always, my name's Paul Sargent. This is AP Euro Bit by Bit. Please subscribe and share with your friends. And hey, good luck on the exam. We have one more video to go, and that's how to attack the long essay question, the final part of the exam and the one that carries the least weight. So until then, have yourselves a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.